Hey everybody, Russ here with Russ Reels Live. I am so excited for the show we're going to have today. The group that I have on, we're talking Livestream Liftoff. It is amazing what has happened in live streaming in the past year and a half. And today we're going to talk about that. But I'm just so excited to be here with you. I want to thank you for spending time with us today. You know, I know that your time is valuable and I know you could be a million different places. So thank you so much for being here today. And just wanted to remind you who I am. I am Russ Hedge. I'm a marketing coach. I'm a keynote speaker. I am an inspiration specialist. That's right. I'm here to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. And what does that mean? I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. I want you to do amazing things because you are an amazing individual. And today, I just want to encourage you to be positive, move forward, and to do great things. And you can do it if you want to. It's the choice that you make, because I'm also the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. That's right. You don't want to live befuddled. You want to live the life you choose. You want to get out there in spite of what happens and move forward and choose good and positive. You know, I always say life happens and then we choose. And so get out there today and choose the positive. You know, every morning I have an intentional routine of starting the day off positive. That's right. I do 3 things before I get out of bed every single day. And it just happens to be in my book if you want to read more about that. But it is, I start off by being thankful. I say, I'm so thankful to God for my family, for my beautiful wife, for all that God has blessed me with. And then I also say, I've got this. Give myself a little pep talk. I know that I have got the talents and abilities to move forward and do what I need to do. And last but not least, I say today is going to be awesome. I call that putting on my awesome filter, because, you know, we all filter life through a lens, and I choose to filter it through an awesome lens, because then whatever hits that lens, good or bad, it's really so much better. When the bad things come your way and you've got an awesome lens on, things are going to be a whole lot better than they would otherwise. So today I encourage you to be positive, get out there and do great things. And speaking of great things, we are going to talk live streaming today. And I have got 5 amazing people here today. I have Charlene Brown, I have Shri, I have Tim, I have Russ, I have Gabe, and they are all in the house today to talk about a little bit about themselves and what they've done in live streaming and what they're doing now, but also have this discussion about how things have just taken off and how communities have been built around live streaming. So we are going to get this party started. We're going to start off with ladies first, and I'm going to bring Charlene in the room first because she's ready. I can tell. Here she comes. Hey, Charlene.
Hi. What's going on, Russ?
Well, hey, I am so glad you're here. You know, you have become such a great friend so quickly, and you're doing amazing things out there. I know what they are, but why don't you give everybody a little snapshot on you and what you're up to?
Oh, yeah. So thank you for having me on the show tonight. I have been just pushing through and having a couple of shows. And of course, one of my co hosts is on with us tonight, Shri. She's amazing. And we've been just creating content for people who just want to have a conversation and be relaxed. And I have another show with Carl, and it's just making sure that we can have that talk of business, life, and just enjoying it. So you're not always like, stiff and unsure. It's, just have something relaxing. Forget about the cooler, forget about being in trouble, but just enjoying yourself. And for me, I'm just having fun in educating my clients on how to build website strategies and how to get their websites to become the foundations of their marketing. So it's no longer that secondary thing. Just like live streaming is no longer an option, video is no longer an option. It's the same
That's
thing
right.
with the website. So I'm just pushing out that education.
Well, we're working on getting my website unbefuddled, and between you and a couple of my friends, we're going to do that. I'm making progress. You know, I already actually took a couple suggestions that you had given me, and so anyway, that is so great, so great. So we're going to bring in your co-host. We're going to bring Shri into the house. How's it going, Shri?
It is going amazing. My name is Shri, and I'm the owner of Next Level Consulting. My journey started because when I started my business 2 years ago, it was about being able to leave a legacy to my daughter because you can't leave a legacy with the 9 to 5. And
Mhm.
so after hearing people telling me you have to get testimonials, it was about, okay, hear their journey. And I was not sure how I was going to do this because, first of all, I was scared. But second of all, how do you do it when you don't have equipment? And during the pandemic, that's when it happened. I used Instagram Live because I saw my friend doing it, and I started Journey of an Entrepreneur. And that is how I learned about business. And then after 100 lives, I realized I have a passion of helping entrepreneurs get comfortable being in front of the camera. Today, we're going to discuss why it's not an option, and going into 2022, bringing visibility to your business. This just happened to me today. I lost my 9 to 5, but I still have my business. I still know how to gain visibility. And if I had not been building up my skills outside of that 9 to 5, I'd probably be more devastated than I am today. But I am in a different place. So that is like a message that I would share with everybody. You have the skills, you have the talent, and stop hiding behind those fears and go after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing what you bring up because it's interesting. At the beginning of COVID, a lot of us had a gigantic change in life. And because of a good friend of mine, D. Scott Smith, one of my co-hosts, I had actually started a side hustle and started doing the business that ultimately became all that I'm doing through coaching, speaking, and live streaming. And so I really had all the things in place. So like you, when things changed for me, not that big of a deal. I was really kind of ready for it, was able to move forward. And so that is one great thing about being your own boss, creating this visibility through live streaming or through whatever you're doing on the platforms, websites, whatever, and really being able to put yourself out there. And that is so amazing. And a person that has done that fabulously, that's in the room next is Mr. Tim Sohn. Here he comes in the forest in Pennsylvania. There he is.
Hello, hello.
I was trying to catch you off guard. Did it work?
It did. It did. Yes. Good job.
There you go. There you go. So, Tim, you are an amazing friend. I think Tim and I chat and talk and video text each other and do things virtually every day. And he's always sending the love. And I'm praying for him. He's praying for me. There you go. To everybody. And yeah, thank you. That's probably meant for the ladies, not for me. But anyway.
You too, Russ. You too.
But Tim, you have done some amazing things. There's a lot of people I've learned from and continue to learn from. And all of you in the room, I'm doing that. But Tim, I've learned a lot from you. Tell everybody what you're up to and what you're doing in video these days.
Yeah, thank you so much, Russ. And I learn so much from you every day as well. Up to a lot of things, but the latest thing I'm up to is I recently started a new show with Kara Ulker called Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. In June, I started sharing my journey of living with leukemia for it's now 15 years this month. And I just found out the other day that I'm, for the moment, cancer-free. And there's my bestie, Kara Ulker, the co-host of the show. Hey, Kara.
Yes. Hey, Kara.
Love Kara. Thank you so much for being here, Kara. And the show, it came together very quickly, and it's all about bringing together cancer survivors and supporters to show up and share their personal journeys and connect and just support each other. So we'll be on episode number 7 this coming Tuesday. It's on Tuesday nights at 8:00 Eastern time. Our next guest is Rob Statham from The Drunken Great. His dad and his twin sister both passed of cancer. So he'll be sharing their journeys as well as his perspective. And so that's the latest thing I've been up to. And so many people have just been showing up to support each other and sharing their stories in the comments. And just an amazing heart-centered community of people coming together and sharing their perspectives and stories together. And I'm just so honored that people trust us to do that in the safe space that Kara and I created together.
Well, it's amazing because you can really get around topics that so many people want to talk about and that are so close to people's heart. Obviously that topic is important to me. My dad passed away of lung cancer. And so, I've been through that whole situation as well. But another thing, I know a lot of times that Shri and Charlene are also doing topics around some difficult subjects along with Charlene, along with Carl as well. I would have had Carl on tonight, but Carl's been on almost every show I've done in the last month, so I had to give him a break. But Carl's like, not one more. No, he actually didn't say that. Carl would have been here if I asked him. But anyway, I just appreciate, Tim, all of you. And speaking of appreciating people, Mr. Russ Johns, well, he does have the best name ever. He does. I mean, us Russes have to stick together. But when I saw Russ Johns, I thought he was this big star of live streaming. And when I messaged him and he actually replied to me, I was thinking, wow, this guy's actually going to talk to me. And so we become super great friends. And Russ, thank you for being here.
I'm honored that you invited me and included me in the conversation. And it's always a pleasure to hang out with wonderful people doing great work. And so thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to participate.
Well, you bet. I mean, any of you are invited on with me anytime. And speaking of which, I just want to throw a quick plug in there. I think you all have invites. If you don't, you should. My Christmas special is coming up next Thursday. I'm marketing with Russ. And I think I got invites out to everybody. But if I forgot somebody because I really was kicking them out there, you're invited. And so remind me, send me a message if you didn't get the invite. But I'm going to have people coming in and out for that because I love this community. And Russ, you have developed such a great community in the Pirate broadcast. Let everybody know a little about you and what you're up to in live streaming.
Absolutely. I love the live streaming community. And I actually started live streaming long before LinkedIn Live existed. And that almost became part of the process of the Pirate broadcast because I was going live on YouTube and then pursuing it and adding it to LinkedIn as if I were going live and doing a show. And it was really kind of, it was a hat tip to the radio industry where if you're not licensed to go live, you're not licensed to broadcast, you're considered a pirate broadcaster. And I've always been somebody that likes to think outside the box, likes to do something different. And I also like to put a spin of kindness on it and make sure that I'm helping other people along their journey. So I interview interesting people doing interesting things where kindness is cool and smiles are free. And, I want to help more people. So it's really important to me to get the word out and do as much as I can to help as many people as possible.
Well, I love that. The helping more people, help more people, because, it's really about the community has been built of people helping each other. I know you have told me over and over and over, and Tim has as well. We'll do whatever we can to help you out. And I have tried to return the favor, not only support you guys, but help others. And so we're all in a different place on the journey. And so as we move along, I'm ahead of some people and other people are way ahead of me. And it's a lot of fun to be involved in that journey wherever you might fall. I know that one thing that I've really encouraged people to do, and I think you all do this too, and that is just get started. Because in the live stream journey, you just got to get started and get moving, because if you don't, it's never going to happen. You got to figure it out as you go. I had zero idea what I was doing when I started. Scott and I did pre-recorded podcasts for a while that I would put out on the social media. But the first time I went live was with D. Scott Smith on The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. And I did all the production and did all the stuff. And I was so nervous and I had no idea what I was doing, but we somehow pulled it off and people thought we knew what we were doing. And so we did well on that. But, another person that gave me a lot of energy and just the mindset that I could do it was my good friend, Gabe Leal, who's coming in the house. And Gabe, who's the queen of our group, he's got his outfit on there. He used to sit on live stream and just talk to everybody and say, I'm figuring this out. I'm working on this. I'm trying out this new camera. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And I would thought, that is so cool. He's just kind of letting everybody know he's figuring it out and he's putting it out there. And he had all these people there talking to him while he's figuring things out. So Gabe, the queen face is off. We can actually see you now. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing wonderful, folks. How's everybody here doing?
Good.
Love seeing all these people here. This is part of it, of what we are as creators here. The community that's being built and being established by the day, it's huge, and I'm enjoying being a part of it. And a lot of it, like you kind of were saying, for that I was helping you out, Russ. That's what Russ One was actually doing for me. Um,
Mhm.
in being a creator. You know what? I'm going to give you a tip right now. I really need to give you a tip, Russ.
Go for it.
This is what I do. Okay, using StreamYard. Go inside your brand tab. Do this for me real quick. Yeah, I'll be
Are you
outside in a minute.
asking?
Yeah.
Are you asking me to
Okay.
do that?
Yes, I'm asking you to do that. I'm sorry. I'll be
Okay,
there in a minute.
I'm in my brand
Okay.
tab.
Okay, go up to the top right there, and you should see 3 tabs that have your comments on it. You'll say rounded, news, minimize, and the one that you're using now. So if you pick one that says the minimize tab, right? Now you should see them at the very, almost toward the very top.
I'm looking. See, now you're putting me on the spot here, Gabe, and
I'm doing on the
I
spot.
don't see it.
We're doing on the brand training. We're doing on the spot training here.
I am all for that.
So you should, it should be right under the brand tab where the color tab is there. So if you see where your color tab is there, where you can actually add your branding colors.
Right.
Do you see that? Right underneath there, you should see different layouts that you can actually choose to put your comments in. So
is that before theme, or is that the picture?
That is theme. So it is
Okay,
theme.
theme. All right.
So
theme.
if you click theme that says minimize, there should be one that says rounded, theme, news.
I see bubble, classic, minimal, and block.
Click minimal. Do this for me. Please do.
Minimal. There you go.
Okay, now see how it's changed the outlay of your comments. So when you're having people on like this and big guest shows like this, you want to be able to keep your audience and your presentation that people see in front of you and still be able to make the comment and everything still be a part of the show. So when people actually have big, huge comments, so find one that has huge comments, somebody that wrote out something that's very large.
We'll find Kenneth, because
Kenneth Dunner does this all the time. Yes,
Kenneth,
he's
there
a
we go.
perfect example.
There's a Kenneth one. There you go.
Now you see his comment. It's not covering Russ's face. Down there, yes, you can still see Mr. Johns perfectly clear. The comment is still intact and part of the show, and it still makes it look aesthetically pleasing to your audience. That is what I do every single day in teaching people how to actually use the tools that you have here as a live stream creator. So hopefully you walk away from something tonight and go, wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, Gabe, I learn from all y'all every day, and you've just let the cat out of the bag. Now people know that I don't know everything, so I tried to hide it there, but they figured it out. So anyway,
well, I don't want to cover up see, that's the whole thing. I don't want to cover up the artwork that you've done, the time and the efforts that people put into creating their promotionals and the backgrounds and everything that they do. They should also be on display for everybody be a part of. So that's why I teach these and how to actually use them to still kind of integrate them in your show and still make everything look awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're so encouraging, because, the 2 things that I can think about right off the bat is you figuring things out online and your kids running around behind you. And then Russ Johns was on one morning, and he goes, yeah, my guest didn't show up. LinkedIn isn't working. My camera's wacky, but we're just going forward anyway. And I'm here, and I'm thinking, I love these guys. That was one thing, Charlene, when I first saw you, because I intentionally seek out people to be friends with and connections with. And I sought all of you out. Well, at least I think it was me. I don't know. But anyway, usually I'm the one seeking people out. But I sought you out because you were so authentic. You were so genuine. I loved how you talked I think it was with Carl when I first saw you. I think that the whole idea of authenticity is so important today, don't you think? And all that we're doing, that people see that we really care and believe what we're talking about.
Definitely. And it's hard with all the noise of trying to follow other people, trying to do exactly what other people do. It's more comforting to have someone, especially like Carl, who can do a show with me and allow me to be goofy, allow me to mess up, but I'm not feeling judged. I'm not feeling like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're brand
Charlene,
new.
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to
Okay.
interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you because I want you to tell the truth. This is
What?
about truth here.
What?
Tell everybody how you've been carrying Carl the whole time, and that
You're right.
you know,
You're right.
without you, without the magic that Charlene Brown has. That
You're right.
you know,
You're right.
Carl
He has
Sean
40
Watkins.
shows, but I see the real work.
Tell the
But
truth here. Let's tell our
it-
truth.
but definitely to have him, and he just really allows you to shine and spotlight and learn on the fly, on the job. And he if you correct anything, he's there to listen, and he corrects you. So I love that type of partnership. And with him, I'm able to go out into the LinkedIn community and find other people who are just like that and just be myself. So with that, I've been fortunate. And I think throughout life, I've just been fortunate to have people in my circle that I could weed out quickly and know, like, these are my people. Because I have 3 groups of friends that we've known each other no less than 25 years. So for that says a lot, not just for them, but also for me, that, I'm doing something right. So I just keep doing that and continue to be true to myself so other people can really get to know me.
Well, and you are really true to yourself, because I feel like I've known you 24 of those 25 years, and I think we've known each other for about 4 months. But it's amazing when people click, and with the online community, people have been able to spend a decent amount of time with each other, even though a lot of times people think, how can you really get to know somebody without being in the same room with them? But it's amazing. It's amazing how through online and live streaming, you're able to get to know people all around the world. That's the amazing thing. How many people, Sheree, can go from Dublin, Ireland to Manila, the Philippines, to Dallas, Texas, San Diego, and back to Portland, Oregon, all within a couple hours in one morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Travel is amazing.
Yes.
So Sheree, I just like how you say your name. Shree, you kind of hold it out a little bit. So tell us what's been one of the most amazing things to you about the ability to reach out to people through live streaming.
Just hearing their story. We all have something unique about us, something that's, makes us who we are. And our story, it can motivate, can even push somebody to their breakthrough. As long as I've been doing Instagram lives, I will always get in my DMs, or I'll even get a post that is done because they watch something on my live, or I get in my DMs, because of your lives, I was able to start my business. Now that's powerful because we learn from each other. I mean, I am I just am walking you through. You don't have to have everything. When I started my IG lives, I only had a hair tie, a globe, and a jewelry box, and I just went live. Like, it didn't matter. That's all I had. And then it grew into, I have a stand, a light ring, and now I have another light ring. But even now that I am learning how to do live on a third-party platform for LinkedIn, I'm just trying to show the world, just go live. There's going to be mess ups. It's a journey. After a while, nobody cares about these mistakes. They care about the person that's sharing. When on Thanksgiving, I brought on Constantinos, and we started talking about his journey with depression and what he's had to face as a man. The conversations on the side just were blowing up. Next thing I know, we were guests on another live because of that conversation. So if there are people out there trying to figure out, well, how do I start? Where do I start? Just start. I mean, my first live, I was like, I don't even know where I'm looking. Like, am I doing this right? And I think, and I really related to Gabe when he was talking about that. He was like, I had no idea what I was doing. And then here he is, all these episodes later. Don't compare. Like, I just will start where I am. I'll show you the basics. And then I can pass you on to all these wonderful souls that you see, because why don't we get you comfortable? Why don't we? Because even to this day, I still get goosebumps, butterflies. I'm like, I'm going to fumble. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to forget something. I have a booger in my nose. Anything is possible, right? Like my
That's
mom
Gabe.
will,
Gabe always has the boogers in his nose.
I
That's
always
okay.
I got everything. So
my mom during the water heater broke during one of the months that I had a live, so the people came. And so she opened the door and she saw me doing a live, and she told the workers, "You need to be quiet. My daughter's interviewing somebody." So shh. So it's evolved into the family. And I love seeing Gabe having the kids running around, and then Charlene has the cat who's, Shadow. And then I haven't caught all of, Russ's or Tim's. I've caught Tim's, but I'm just saying, like, we all have those moments, but we all started somewhere and we just kept going and showing people that there is, you could start with me and say, like, okay, if she's doing it and it's not perfect, then I go to this next person. I just, I can introduce you. Okay, you've gotten comfortable. Let me introduce you to the next level, and you can continue down, because we all bring something unique.
Right. And people love that. Actually, I find the most popular shows is when we mess up. People like when you actually are like, hey, if they can do it and mess up, I guess I could do it too. It's what I loved in the early part of COVID was people that had been live streaming or were elevated in where they were as far as along their journey. And all of a sudden I was on with Cami Hoyza early on, and her son is photobombing her behind her while she's doing a workshop. And I'm just thinking that would have been my son as a teenager for sure. He would have been coming in doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. But, Tim, you have had an amazing journey with all that you've gone through, and still been able to persevere, because I think the community makes you strong. And through the live streaming and being able to stand up for causes and with people like Kara and like Jim and Chris and all the people that you're working with, it's really, I think, built you up and made you stronger. That's probably why you're cancer free, because you have such great friends.
It's so true. And I started all of this journey in June, when I started sharing my story, when Nancy Barrows created the Radiating Real movement, and I started creating more vulnerable content. And I shared my leukemia story after I was inspired by her and by Steve Sullivan, who's a 35-year acute leukemia survivor who was recently on our show. And Jenny Gold invited me on her show all in the same week. And since that, and this community on LinkedIn, I mean, people are so supportive, so loving, so uplifting. And I'm just so grateful. And so many people show up for each other on the Showing Up show, on the Tim and Jim show, no matter what show it is. Just the supportive community that is here is just amazing. I've gone through a lot of things over the last 6 months, in terms of my leukemia and chronic headaches and other things that I've been sharing on social media that I haven't shared before. And people have sent me audio messages, video messages, phone calls, comments on posts that before that, I never shared that kind of content before. And, right. And I'm so glad I did, and I would encourage others to share more personal aspects of your life that you're comfortable sharing, right? Like, sure. I waited 15 years to share my leukemia journey, right? You might not be comfortable sharing something like that yet. But there is such a community of support here on LinkedIn and other social media platforms as well. And by sharing your own personal journey on live streaming, you are, hey, Carl Sean Watkins, you're going to inspire other people to share their personal journeys as well.
Well, and that's so true. And, I am all about inspiring people. And what inspires me is when I talk to great friends I have all over the world. So I was on with a good friend of mine, Alan Hennessy out of Dublin, Ireland earlier today. And some of you in this room probably know Alan. And he is part of, with my co-host, D. Scott Smith, a good friend, they do the Global Tea Break. If you're not all involved in that, you should be. GlobalTeaBreak.com. It's once a month, the third Friday of every month. That really launched my global community. And what it enabled me to do is be on other people's shows, have them on my shows, people that were way ahead of the game with me, and just be able to build that community with other people. And I just appreciate him because, Tim, he reminds me of when I talked to you. You know, when I was first getting going with live streaming, you gave me a lot of tips. And Alan's just like, hey, call me anytime. If you need something, we just hop on Zoom. And this morning it was amazing because I was on Zoom with Alan. We were on at 6 a.m. my time because Alan is in Dublin, and my wonderful, fabulous team member that works with me, Everly, she is in Manila. And so she's 16 hours difference. He was 8 hours difference. And so what a crazy time thing I had to work with to try to figure everybody out. But, you know, you start learning where people are and what you do, and you learn from them. And, you know, Russ, you have been just amazing in all that you're doing. And my phone is ringing right now, so we're going to turn that off. Thought I had turned off my phone, but it started ringing in my ears. So anyway, you are amazing to me because you've been so helpful in all that I've done. And you just continue to be amazing. And I know that you and Gabe are working with people. Gabe's getting the word out there about all the live streamers on the stuff that he has. You two are working together to teach people. Tell us a little bit more about what you got going there.
Yeah, you bet. The thing about the Pirate broadcast was always about the opportunity to help people in two areas. Number one, there's people like to produce shows, you know, the people that like to actually work with the tech, work with the strategy and the process behind the scenes. And then there are people that really have a message and a gift and something that they need to share that need to be in front of the camera. So the Pirate Syndicate, I created the Pirate Syndicate to support those two groups of individuals. So one of the things that I have on the Pirate Syndicate is courses to teach the whole entire process from start to finish on how to actually launch a show, what to consider when you're taking, you know, where you're thinking through the process of starting a podcast or a live stream, and then also how to book guests, how to negotiate and navigate through the notifications and building systems that support your process. And then also taking those individuals that want to produce shows and then finding the opportunities out there in the world that for people that say, I just want to show up for the mic and share my story. And I don't want to deal with the tech. I just want to deal with the results. And so by producing shows that way, we can actually support both sides of the equation, the source and the destination. And it's really important for us to understand that we're just on the tipping point of this thing growing and expanding. And if you think back on when we all had 3 channels of TV, and then Turner Broadcasting came in with, and then, you know, Blockbuster, then Netflix is on, and now we have all kinds of channels out there, all kinds of content. And you are the creator, you are the media, you are the person that can actually create something that people want to hear and understand. And communities are going to build out of your topic and your appreciation for the gifts that you're sharing. And I think it's really important for us to understand that we all have a place to play in this field about showing up and doing what we need to do in order to support each other and grow that abundance in the community. And Gabe's helping me along that journey, and I'm inviting other people into that. I've been invited Tim and you know, so many other people. I just got off a show earlier today with RJ Redden, who does bots, and we put an offer together earlier today. So it's continuing to grow and evolve, and I invite people to join the Pirate Syndicate and get involved in that whole process. So.
Well, I totally encourage that too. And Gabe, you know, you've been just such a driving force in supporting people. And in that process, I was just watching you and Russ. I think it was last night. It was either last night or the night before, I lose track. And you guys going through things. And you know what, really, you kind of you almost remade yourself in a way, because just recently you started the promotion of all the live streams and what you were doing. I mean, you've always been great. You've always been awesome, but you kind of switched up kind of how you were going about things. And I appreciate that, I know, and I'm sure all the other live streamers do too.
Yeah. So I'm just supporting the thing that I love the most, which is live streaming. Once I got into it, once I found that this was my gift, um, I had to find ways to use that apart from just doing shows. Um, so part of it was starting out that way, and this is why. Look, I'm going to give this person props, just like I do. I call Russ Johns my mentor because he is my mentor. He helped me get to this point. But I'm also going to give the people that have inspired me to do things to do this. There's one person that always will get a lot of the credit for pushing to where I started doing this. There's a gentleman by the name of Juma Bannister. If you do not know who he is, you better get on his radar. He is an awesome content creator. Because I got involved as a spectator, just as a spectator, not even being a part of this community, I came up with the concept of what I wanted to do when doing this and starting to spotlight people simply because he was doing a lot of the same things with a lot of video content on his show. And sitting there watching it, it was a light bulb moment for me, sparked me to start doing the things that I've always been kind of in my mind saying I need to start a way to kind of put myself out there apart from just being a live stream creator. And that was kind of the genesis of what got me moving in this direction. So now that I started doing this, I take the same intensity, the same principles that I've laid out and what I was able to do. And Russ, well, you're starting to learn this too, both Russes, Russ 1 and 2, about doing shows, a lot of shows, right? And having to have either a team there or the systems and processes in place to kind of simplify the process. Because if not, you're going to get overwhelmed, you're going to get burned out, you're going to get a lot of things. So learning a way to make your process easier only helps you, your guest, your audience, and everyone involved. So that's what I've done with taking those things that I've learned. Now this is where me and Russ are working together to start teaching people and educating them on how to do this. Because there are people out there that probably have the same drive, that want to go out there and start producing shows or hosting their own shows and putting these sort of things together. So we provide them the avenues to, get what they want. And for me, that's a lot of how I'm actually being able to make what I always talk about, impact. So if I can make impact apart from what my voice is with my actions, then man, I think I found the fountain of youth, the gold that people always search for. This is what people want to know, what the secret sauce is. Well, this is the secret sauce, folks. It's not really a secret. It's just you being able to find what your gift is and grow in your gift. When you learn how to do that, everything around you else becomes so much easier. This is not even, again, I'm only getting started. This is the tip of the iceberg, folks. Right. There's so much more coming in 2022. And if I'm doing this now with a house full of kids, 4 dogs, a job.
Four dogs.
I got 4 dogs.
Oh, so my goodness.
So if I'm doing this now, when this becomes the career, again, watch out, because there's nothing going to be able to hold me back.
Well, I think it's interesting, Gabe, because we've been talking about just starting. And the other day, so I am now on top of, I have 4 live stream shows that I'm doing. And I had one of my clients come to me and say, hey, I want to do a live stream, and will you produce it? And I said, sure, I could do it. And so I said that, but then I went away going, can I produce somebody else's live stream show? And all of a sudden I was putting together all the stuff and doing it. And I thought, hey, I can really do this. I know what I'm doing. I've got this figured out. And so producing his show really was a piece of cake. So all of a sudden I thought, hey, that's something else, another tool in my tool bag, that when I'm working with people, that I can help them, and I can get out there and do that and help people get online, so they don't have to do any of the behind the scenes stuff. And it's kind of fun actually hiding behind the scenes and just running the show. Kind of enjoyed that, because usually I'm on camera. Like now, I'm doing and producing the show while I'm on camera,
right?
Which we all get better at times, as long as we don't pull our earplugs out of our ears. But anyway, I've got the wireless ones coming. I'm tired of this. So anyway, It's interesting too to me, Gabe, that when I think people underestimate themselves. Everybody right here in this
All the
room, I
time.
think, yes,
What is that? The imposter syndrome that we all have? That people
Exactly.
that people run into and they go, "Can I do this?"
Yeah.
It's when you challenge yourself is when you're able to work past that. When
Yes.
you learn how to challenge yourself into doing exactly what you just talked about, right? Saying yes, even though you're not sure of the outcome. You weren't
Right.
sure that you were going to be able to do this, whether or not you were going to run into a problem and an issue, but you did it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Rise to the occasion.
Exactly. And that's what we do here. And that's how we teach and coach anybody that comes along how to do this.
Well,
It's
because kindness is cool and smiles are
a
free, and as long
free.
as you keep doing that, everything comes together. Speaking of one of the biggest smiles, Charlene, when I first met you, I thought this woman has one of the biggest, wonderful smiles I've ever seen. So, the thing is, I think that you can tell when you guys are live that you're enjoying it, and that's why I love the hashtag smiles are free,
Yes.
because you know what? We can spread the joy, right?
Yep.
Exactly. And it's fun. My cheeks hurt, but they're hurting on a good note. On a good note, especially when we can laugh. And I think I find myself laughing a lot on the show. Even when we have tough discussions, it's still time to have a little touch of laughter in there, to let people know that not everything is a bad or down feeling. You can still find that way to make it through, and laughter and smiles kind of bring you through that as well.
Right. Well, having a mother, so my dad, this is not a woe is me moment, by the way, but my dad passed away of lung cancer, and he also had dementia at the end. My mom has been dealing with Alzheimer's and is in the later stages now. But you know what? I smile and laugh right along with that. When I started, because you have to still enjoy life, and you have to enjoy the moments within your life, even when you have struggles. And when my mom first, I she first moved to the memory care, she was at that level. That's where I did my first podcasting. It was called Happy Moments with Mama. That was my hashtag. I had a hashtag Happy Moments with Mama and hashtag I love my mama. And if you have never seen Happy Moments with Mama, it's on YouTube. Videos of my mom and I walking around her hallway. It was a big circle, laughing and singing. And you know what? You can find joy in no matter what's going on. And even today, she doesn't know my name anymore, but she knows she loves me. She still tells me she loves me, and I still have those happy moments. And so I live for that. I just live for the good things, and it doesn't matter what's going on in our life. I know Russ and I have that in common. He's been taking care of his mom, and these are just things that we do. I figure that she wiped my nose and other things for all those years growing up. At least I could do is help out, right? So yeah, Russ, you deal with just real quickly here. You have life going on around you as well. I mean, you and I had a thing going on a while back, and you said, "Hey, I got to take my mom to the doctor. Sorry, but we're gonna have to reschedule." Things happen.
Yeah, and and that's the opportunity we have in helping other people around it. Sometimes it's a family, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's people that need help. And the reality is we all have the ability to offer some compassion and consideration to other people, whether it's just opening up a door or helping somebody out in the grocery store or returning a cart in the shopping parking lot. It's all these little things that add up to big things. And, it's not always easy. However, it's in the big scheme of things, right now is temporary. Tomorrow's not promised. So I encourage everyone to take a little moment and just have gratitude for where you are, what you're doing, and the things that you can actually appreciate. Because, we all have internet access. We all have power and electricity. We all have probably running water. So there's really, in the big scheme, we don't need a lot. And I just encourage us to think in those terms and help each other out.
We are really blessed. And, I know, Shri, that you feel that way and all that you're doing, and it's really a chance to because we're blessed, like we've been talking about, bless other people, whether it's subjects we're talking about, whether it's helping other people live stream. This is why I think live streaming is lifting off. It's exploding because of all the possibilities with that. Don't you think, Sri?
I agree so tremendously. When I started doing live streaming, within a few months, I had the opportunity to become a co-author of a book. And I started to realize that I was building this community where people could connect and people could get opportunity, and just how much I was learning. And then coming on to, even I interviewed my mentor, but it just opened all of these possibilities for so many relationships. I mean, we would never have met. I'm not really sure how you crossed paths, Russ, but we did. And then it was through Gabe, and then Charlene. Well, I met Charlene through the 21-day video challenge, but it's through like connections of one of you that I've met all of you. So it's,
Yeah.
you never know unless you get out there, and you'll be surprised how many people will say, man, I know exactly what you're going through, or I have a solution, or just the best is, I want to work with you. How do I do this?
Right. Well, and it's from, you go from one person to the next to the next. And so whether you are intentionally reaching out and connecting with somebody because you see them, or you just, somebody says, hey, you and Sri, I need to chat. That's probably how we got connected. Somebody said, hey, you've got to talk to this person. She's amazing. And so that is how I've connected with pretty much all of you guys, either seen you live streaming or been connected through other friends. And, you know, Tim, I know that the first time we met was on the Tim and Jim show. And
Yes.
I joked last time we were talking about this. I thought, I don't know about this Tim guy. I've never met him before. And I'm usually not on shows with people or have them on my show if I don't know them ahead of time. But you've turned
To
out
watch
to be
out for
such
those
an,
Tims.
I know. But you've turned out to be such an amazing friend. And, you know, all that you go through, you keep such a positive attitude. And my favorite thing, Tim, is when you turn me down because you want to spend time with your family.
I appreciate that, Russ. And I think that's something that's important for all of us to think about as live streamers. You know, we have our own shows, but then we also want to be there to support other people's shows. But, you know, like, we all need to think in terms of priorities, in terms of our own self-care, in terms of our families, in terms of our businesses, you know, and everything else. And I think that's important. I know I'm going through this now, you know, I'm not very good at time blocking right now, but I'm going to start time blocking because I need to, you know, with everything that's going on, you know. And I'm cancer free for the moment, right? So that makes me want to prioritize myself and my family even more now.
Right.
Given that situation. So I think that's important for everyone to think about, that's live streaming or anyone who's just showing up to support other people on live shows, right, Russ?
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's the thing too, is I think that we need to remember that. And you know, it's tough. It's tough as your own business owner, as the one driving everything. You've got a lot to do. You want to move forward, but you've got to learn to cut that off. And sometimes I do it well, and other times I don't. And that's something that I really work on. And I'm big proponent of time blocking. So I really block out my time throughout my day, keep myself moving. I'm a big proponent of morning routines and of daily good habits that I try to create. And, you know, that really helps propel me forward. But it's important. You know, tonight I have a family dinner as soon as we get off with my beautiful wife and my daughter. It's coming over. Super excited. My son is coming up from Pasadena with his wife for Christmas. They'll be here Sunday. So next week I'm going to half days. Actually, I'm taking Friday completely out, but I'm only going to work about half days most of the week. Super excited about that. By the way, 2 amazing children. I got to brag for a minute. Both doing incredible things. My daughter is a worship pastor, doing amazing. My son, double Grammy nominated, in case nobody has heard that. He mastered 2 of the, besides being in bands and doing that, he also does mastering, works for a Grammy award-winning mastering company, mastered 2, somebody up for the album of the year, and I think it's R&B album of the year. So pretty excited about that. So he'll get credit for being part of that. Everybody gets a little piece of the Grammy when they win. So kind of exciting. So anyway, I just threw that in just because I like to brag about my kids. But anyway, so Gabe, speaking of kids, I always appreciate it when I see you just moving on, living life, even when your kids are hanging out behind you and doing whatever. I mean, that really is cool.
That's part of it, right? That's the whole. That breaks for me the culture of we got to have this level of professionalism, and kind of put those things in the back. And for me, it's like, why hide those things? That's actually part of what you do in life, and you live and work and you enjoy with everything and everyone around you. So I don't shadow or hide any of that with me. When my kids come in, cool, what do you need, guys? What I'm doing here. They understand that. They ask me, hey, you doing a show? Yeah, I'm doing a show. What do y'all want to go do? Right. So it's again, it's all part of it. And I think a lot of this started to feel relaxed for a lot of folks during COVID, when everything was really locked down, because people had to understand that was the normalcy of life. I'm sorry I had to remotely work from home, and I got 3 kids now, just running around here. And I still had to do virtual calls and do all the rest of the stuff that you had to do. Look, just to integrate it into your life. It makes everything a heck of a lot easier, instead of you having to go, oh, I kind of, hey, time blocking, do that. That's going to be the biggest way to maximize whatever opportunity you do. That I've had to learn how to master that, especially in my life.
Well, and I think we all have to learn a lot as we go and how to work things out. One thing that I didn't mention, we don't have time to today, but we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here. I'm going to give you all last word and give everybody how they contact you, starting with Charlene. But before we do that, just wanted to say, the one thing that I have learned, besides being able to, what I think is the most important part, lift other people up, build community, have incredible friendships, credible knowledge. Besides all of that, you can also be in business and make a living for your family and do things. I've been able to replace my income that I had before by doing my business. And a big part of it's been live streaming. And, originally when I started off, I immediately monetized my live streaming because 2 reasons. Number one, I had my community come to me and say, what can we do to help you? And number 2, I was dumb enough to know they told me you needed millions of followers before you could monetize. I was ignorant enough not to know that. So I just got sponsors, and people said, you just got sponsors? I said, yeah. And so anyway, I do a whole class on that, by the way, which is a lot of fun and very simple process. But the whole idea with that is not the money part, but it's that you can actually create a living. You can create good things for you and for others. And at the same time of building community and lifting them up. So Charlene, in an effort for all of us to get back to our families, you're first. Give us last word and how people get in touch with you.
Yeah. So my last word on this is to enjoy the lives that you create. Make sure that what you're doing shows that you enjoy doing it, and that will allow people to really soak in what you're even talking about. I've seen that a lot of with our shows. People are drawn into it because we're already involved, we're invested, we love it. And if you want to work with me, I'm happy to help you out. You can reach me at brooklyncustomdesigns.com, BKLYN customdesigns.com, and of course on LinkedIn, where we can really connect and I can help you get your website together.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Shri, you're next.
I would just share that we all have a story. We all have something to share, and we all have something that we can teach somebody, something of value. So never believe that you don't have anything to share. And if you are an entrepreneur wanting to get in front of the camera and you just need a little bit of a push, I would love to be able to help you. You can connect with me here on LinkedIn Or you can also find me on Instagram, where I do a lot of lives and I also drop tips there. So my handle's a little bit long, but if you DM me and say you saw me on Russ Reels Live, I'll provide that information, because I love getting DMs, but I'd love to know where did you see me? How did you find me?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. And we're going to make sure get all of your contact information out there. We should have a lot of it in the show notes already, but if not, we'll continue to get it in there with my amazing helper and team member. Tim, you're next.
Thank you so much for having me, Russ. For me, so much of live streaming is about engagement. So I encourage you all to, when you do your live streams, reach out to at least one person who shows up in the comments. You know, send them a direct message, invite them on a call with you, and just get to know them better. You can get in touch with me on LinkedIn. That's really the best way to get in touch with me. Also, if you want to go to risewithlive.com/impact, you could get a free downloadable PDF on 5 ways to make massive impact with live video.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you, Russ.
Russ, you're up.
Yeah, I just want to amplify everything that's been said, as well as the idea that this is something that we get to do. This isn't something we have to do. And we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to amplify their brand, their message, to be seen, to be heard, and build their authority, because we all have a message. We all have a gift. We all have something that we can share. And the best way and easiest way to follow and connect with me is through LinkedIn, and or you could just actually go to bookruss.com and book a call and a connection with me as well.
Perfect. Awesome. I know you're easy to get a hold of, and I, again, appreciate you so much. And yes, life happens for us, not to us. I love that quote. And Gabe, you're up next.
Awesome. So I'm going to finish mine off the way I always do things. So I'm going to offer a little bit of education for folks, because that is what I'm about. So what I'm going to show you guys on screen, there you go. You see this? This was us having the conversation that I took a screenshot on. Now, what I will love to show creators is ways to maximize, again, their tools and what they use. So if you simply change the layout that you have there, see there's a little zone there that I call the no zone, because on mobile, you don't pay attention, but on screen, on a desktop, it looks differently. But on a mobile, when you're watching a screen and you have a big panel like this, there's a tendency to the live button that actually stays there and populates automatically. You can't control it. Your guest, or if you're there or anybody there, it blocks it off, cuts off the face, interrupts the way that I look at streams. I manage, I look, I evaluate streams all the time. And that's one of the lessons that I want to teach people, is that simply by changing your layout. So if you want to change the layout real quick, I want you to do this on the fly. I'm going to teach. This is what I do. Again, so underneath your screen, or your StreamYard tab there, you should say the different settings of how you want to set your layouts. So if you switch the one that you always use, which is everybody's face front, yeah. Okay, now there should be one that's more of a landscape portrait. So it should be the one right next to it on either the left or right. There you go. And that is how you actually can control your scene there. It takes you out of the no zone there, and it still allows all your guests to be present inside of your live stream. This is what I love doing in educating and teaching creators how to be the best they possibly can. And that is simply my mission that I do on LinkedIn, where you can reach out to me. This is the only place that I operate in. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not any of these places. My concentrate is strictly on LinkedIn right now. And I'm going to make the best of it so I can elevate every single creator that I find on there by teaching them small things like this that can actually, hopefully, they use into practice. I've done this for Brenda Miller and her show. She was doing the same thing you were, Russ, with the comments. Great presentation, great show, everything that was going on there. She just happened to run in a comment that somebody typed in there, something very poignant that was actually a part of the conversation, and it blocked up half the thing. And then they're doing like this, because that's the reaction. You're trying to look over the comment like it's actually a wall or something there. So I just sent her a message afterward explaining the same thing with you. Next time I saw her live, I saw that she had changed her thing, and I said, thank you. that is the learning process of what I do as far as a live streamer, as a creator, as an educator, as a father. It's everything that I am as an individual. This is what my mission is to do simply on the platform. So that's me in a nutshell. I've enjoyed it, and I hope every single one of you guys here gets to come along for the journey, because it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you guys have all added value to my day. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate all of you. It is amazing to have friends like you. It's amazing to have people that when I reach out say, hey, yeah, let's have a discussion. We'd love to help you and be part of that. So thank you to every single one of you guys. You not only add value to me, but you've added value to all those people watching today. And just want to thank you again. Pray you all have a blessed evening, and we will talk to you all soon. I'm going to send you out to the green room, so hang tight for just a second, and I'll wrap her up.
Love.
As long as I can send everybody out to the green room, it takes a while with all these people. So yes, listen, this is amazing. And what is so amazing about this is all of these people had no idea what they were doing when they started like me, and they've learned and grown, and they continue to help each other. All of us are here for you. Reach out to everybody. We have all the contact information on the show notes, in the comments for everybody that was here today. Reach out. Russ Johns is amazing. Gabe Leal is an amazing man. Tim Sohn, amazing individual. Shri is so great. And Charlene, they have a great show together and shows with other people as well. They're amazing, the way that people work and collaborate together. So I want to encourage you not only to watch shows, engage and comment, but reach out and learn how to do things. And if you need help producing things, there's people here in this room that can help you with that as well. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Have an awesome, blessed day. Until we see you again on Russ Reels, have a great day and a great life. Bye-bye.